Good morning, and it's your girl Anastasia Daniel from HERTRIBE Global. How are you and how is everybody doing today? Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it is Friday. We are finally here. The end of the work week. You guys know that I like my Fridays, so I don't play with it. So today is Friday, and our topic today is called Mary Magdalene. Yesterday we talked about Mary, the mother of Jesus. Today we're going to finish it with Mary Magdalene. See, if I want to go on and on with this Mary, there's a lot of Marys in the Bible. But I'll try to finish it up with Mary Magdalene. And last week, I think I spoke about 3 women. Yes, I talked about, last week we talked about Hagar, Hannah, and Penina. No, Penina and, I don't know. What am I saying? Hannah and Hagar. So this week, we talked about Mary. Maybe I will make it 2 women, talk about 2 women from the Bible every week. Does that make sense to you? Let me know. But let's go back to our topic for today. Mary Magdalene, from darkness to light. Yes, a woman liberated to share the light of Christ. A woman liberated to share the light of Christ. Our topic today is coming from 3 verses in the Bible. Luke chapter 8 verse 2, John chapter 20 from verse 16 to 18, then Colossians chapter 1 verse 13. I'll take it slow. It's Friday. We are not in a hurry, right? Yes. As we come to the end of another week, I want us to reflect on remarkable story of Mary Magdalene, a woman whose life was transformed by the power, by the mercy, and by the love of Jesus Christ. Mary Magdalene's story reminds us that no woman is beyond God's reach. Do you understand that? No past is too broken for his healing. No darkness is too deep for God's light. Mary Magdalene was a woman that was set free. Before she met Jesus, Mary Magdalene struggled with what they call deep spiritual bondage. Let's go to Luke chapter 8 verse 2. I made sure I kind of demarcated all of them so that I would not struggle when I was studying it. So Luke chapter 8 verse 2, it says, now it came to pass, that's verse 1. Verse 2 says, and a certain woman who had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom had come 7 demons. Let's pause there. When I said that she struggled with deep spiritual bondage, I wasn't joking. 1 woman, 7 demons. You can imagine how she's living her life, or she was living her life. Mary Magdalene, from whom 7 demons came out of. The Bible introduced her as a woman who had experienced significant spiritual oppression. Madam, your body cannot, it doesn't just harbor that your fetus, the baby. You don't just carry baby. When they called women incubators, there are things, 7 demons. Do you understand? But Mary Magdalene's story did not end there. No. When she encountered Jesus, everything about her life changed. She was healed, she was restored, and she was liberated. Can you just imagine what Jesus can do? My dear, my queens, if you think about what Jesus can do, it just kind of gives you the picture of God's grace upon the life of a woman. When a couple of days ago, I said it that God do not play with women. Like the importance of woman in the life of Jesus Christ was not something that he played with. He didn't toy with it. It was important to him. He does not just define us by our past struggles. No. God defines us by his transforming power in our lives. All right? God sees beyond our brokenness. Many of us women, we carry wounds. And the wounds you see women carrying wounds, it's not today. Mary Magdalene is we were not even born then. But many of us women carry wounds that other people cannot see. When I talk about wounds, please, I'm not talking about wounds that you injure yourself or you use a razor blade to cut yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about battles. Wounds that you cannot see. But what I mean, battles like fear, shame, rejection, disappointment, anxiety, painful memories, emotional pain. But Jesus saw Mary Magdalene beyond her brokenness. What did Jesus see in her? Jesus saw her value, her purpose, her future. And that is the same way he sees you and I. Let's go to Colossians chapter 1, verse 13. Colossians chapter 1, verse 13 says, hold on 1 second, let me go to 13. He has delivered us from the power of darkness and conveyed us into the kingdom of of the Son of his love. Let me read that again. He has delivered us from the power of darkness and conveyed us into the kingdom of the Son of his love. Which other power again can save, if not God? Some Bible version will say he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son he loves. Just like that. That is, this Colossians chapter 1 verse 13 just let us know what God specializes in. And God specializes in rescuing us. Rescuing us. This applies to both men and women, but I'm talking to women now. As women, that is God's area. To rescue us, just like he did Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was also a woman that stayed close to Jesus. After her healing, she did not run away. She did not disappear. Mary Magdalene became a devoted follower of Christ. Now, some of us, just the testimony of 1 million naira, we no longer remember God. That is not how we should be. We should remain faithful, just like Mary Magdalene did. She remained faithful. She remained faithful in her ministry. She remained faithful even at the cross. She remained faithful even at Jesus' burial. She remained faithful throughout the time Jesus was doing his ministry. Mary Magdalene was faithful. Even when he was going through the trials and accusations and up to the time he was nailed on the cross, Mary Magdalene did not stop believing in Jesus Christ. Even when he was buried, he put in the tomb, she did not quit. She did not say no more. She stood with Christ. Many of us would have left, just like many others left Jesus. During that time, a lot of people left Jesus. When they saw that he was going through that trials and they were going to nail him, a lot of people ran away from him. But Mary Magdalene stayed. In our time today, if we are persecuted because if we are accused, you are serving God, you are doing this, a lot of us deny him. We will run away from him. We don't even want to stay. Some of us, after getting our blessing, we run away. We must learn from the story of Mary Magdalene. Her love for Jesus was rooted in gratitude for what he had done for her in her life. Only God knows how many years. I think did I miss it? How many years she had that demons, 7 demons in her, that Jesus Christ came. I think it's 12. Right? Let me go back. Jesus Christ came and rescued her. Chapter 1, verse 13. Our true transformation creates deep devotion to God. To God. We must learn to stay close to Jesus as women. One of the most beautiful moments of the story of Mary Magdalene happened when Jesus rose from the dead. Mary Magdalene was there. She was weeping near the tomb, and Jesus said to her, let's go to John chapter 20 verse 16. Let's go there. John chapter 20 verse 16. And said, Jesus said to her, Mary. She turned and said to him, Rabboni, which means teacher. You understand? Just imagine the moment. The moment she was crying. And then Jesus called her name. The risen Savior called her name. Jesus has already died, rose again, but she didn't know. She was still weeping. And he came to her, called her name. And Jesus Christ did not wake up or rise up and went and talk about her past. Jesus did not talk about her past, did not talk about her struggle, did not talk about her mistakes, but called her by her name. What does this tell you? It reminds us that God knows each woman, one of us personally. He doesn't forget. He knows your tears. He knows your prayers. He knows your fears. He knows your dreams. And he calls you by your name. He calls you his own. Mary Magdalene was a woman that was healed by Jesus and became a messenger of Jesus. After seeing the risen Christ, what happened? Mary was given an assignment. Let's go to John chapter 20, verse 18. John chapter 20, verse 18. Remember in 16, he called her name, Mary, and she replied, Rabboni, which means teacher, right? Let's go down to 18. You skip 17, let's go to 18. Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord and that he had spoken these things to her. The woman who was once oppressed or one possessed with 7 demons became a messenger of hope. If you were in the crowd when Mary Magdalene came to say, "Oh, I've seen Jesus," would you believe her? Some of us will still be judging her by her past, right? But she didn't care because she was already restored. The same woman who was once broken became a witness to the resurrection of Christ. The same woman who was once in darkness is the one now carrying light. This life is something. My queens, listen. God often uses healed women to heal others. I like this. I like to say this because it kind of cancels the common saying, hurt people hurt others. If you've heard of that one is common. And sometimes in life you see it happening. But I stand here to say to you, God often uses healed women to help heal other women. Your testimony matters. Your story matters. Your journey matters. So we must learn from this woman called Mary Magdalene. What are the things we can learn from her? Number 1, your past does not define you. God's grace is greater than that your history. God's grace is greater than that past. Number two, Jesus still heals. If Jesus can deliver Mary Magdalene, who has harbored 7 demons in her for only God knows how long, God can still heal you. If God does not just heal you, He restores your heart, He restores your mind, He restores your life. So what do? That takes us to the number 3 thing we can learn from God. Stay close to God. That's the number 3. Stay close to God. Remain faithful. Do not run away after you get your testimony. Do not see Jesus as your backup plan. No, it should be your everyday plan. Everyday person you go to. Stay faithful because faithfulness deepens your relationship with Him. Number 4, your story has a purpose. So what God has brought you through can also help another person. Whatever it is God has brought you out of can help someone else. So number 5, remember, number 5 lesson you must learn from this story of Mary Magdalene is that you are called to shine. God delivers us from darkness so that we can share the light to other people. All right? Today is Friday, and our affirmation for today is I am redeemed, I am restored, and I am called by God. I want you to say that to yourself today. I am redeemed, I am restored, and I am called by God. You can tell yourself things like, my past does not define me. I walk into the light of Christ, and I walk boldly, and I boldly share His love with the world. But my affirmation for today, for you, is I am redeemed, I am restored, and I am called by God. Before we go, I like to leave an encouragement for my ladies, for my queens. Remember, just like Mary Magdalene, you may have walked through difficult seasons in your life. You may have experienced pain, loss, disappointment, struggle, whatever it is. But know one thing, your story is not over. The same Jesus who transformed Mary Magdalene still transforms lives today. So walk into this weekend knowing that you are loved, you are redeemed, you are seen, and you are called. And most importantly, you are no longer defined by your darkness or that darkness that held you. You are called to carry the light. All right? So I want you to have that at the back of your mind. You're no longer defined by your darkness. You are called to carry His light. So have a blessed weekend. Have a peaceful weekend. And have a beautiful weekend, my HERTRIBE queens. I remain your girl, Anastasia Daniel. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.